without further ado, welcome back, everybody. This is JR Wisdom. And listen up, we got a late night update, day 3 of the Tory Lanez trial, the Daystar Peterson versus the state of California. And if you haven't been following it, there's been some bombs dropped today. This is some stuff straight out of a movie. This is reminiscent of a lot of movies that you guys may have seen where you have people, invoking their Fifth Amendment right. I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth, as Dave Chappelle has made it popular on his show back in the day. But before we get into it, because I'm not going to hold y'all or anything like that, we just going to jump right into these clips and go over some things, man, because this is, I don't think in contemporary court proceedings we've seen anything like this in terms of a witness doing something in such a high-profile case. But hey, man, y'all know what it is. It's JR Wisdom, your favorite everything. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys see the link pinned in the chat. If you're interested in calling in and expressing your thoughts on this, please feel free to do so. Also, let me know where you guys are checking in from. Your age, sex, gender, location, all that great stuff below. And, quit playing with me. So, you piggybacking, y'all know, just a recap from yesterday coming into today. Y'all know yesterday we covered, and you guys can watch that video, which I'll have tagged at the end of this video as well, where Megan Thee Stallion, a.k.a. Megan Pete, or BKA Megan Pete, she testified yesterday, and, she said a few things, basically did not correspond with anything that the prosecutor was saying. So I'm pretty sure with tonight, prosecution is pretty fed up after today's testimony by what they would have thought was a star witness. But, we're going to get into it, man. It's interesting, guys. And I'll give a few shout outs. Shout out to Tattoo Trucker, Turquoise Tortoise, Tortunga, okay. Carinetta, Maryland, okay. Looks like it. I guess that's it. Anyway, man, let me stop playing with y'all, guys. Let's go ahead and run this first clip. You know what I mean? And let's spin it. Go ahead and hit this mute button and get it cracking.
Been charged with attempted murder, and now you have another woman in the car saying, I plead the fifth. Oh my God. When we walked out of that courtroom just now, every single person was shocked. Every single person was frozen. A lot of people were looking at me like, bro, tell me what is going on. Kelsey took the stand. Before she even started talking, there were fireworks. This started with Kelsey coming in and saying she is invoking her Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not testify. When someone invokes the Fifth Amendment, they have to be invoking it because if they were to testify, they would be giving testimony that incriminates themselves. She said, I will not testify because I would be giving testimony that I'm incriminating myself. That's what it means when she invoked the Fifth Amendment. Now, the government offered her immunity. They said that we will not prosecute you and use this testimony against you, so please testify. Her lawyer came back and said, well, that's not good enough. I don't want you to just not use her testimony against her. I want you to confirm to me that you will not prosecute her for any crimes arising out of this instance, out of this situation. The prosecutors said, yes, on the record, we will not be charging Kelsey for anything that came out of this incident. And then she testified. I'm going to go over the whole testimony in the next video, but here's the piece that we just left off at lunch. The courtroom is just, I can't even explain the tension. They asked her, at one point, did Tory ever say that I'll shoot you? And she said, I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right, which suggests, they asked her, what's the context? When did he say I'm going to shoot you? She said, I invoked the Fifth, which suggests that the context was Kelsey was doing something, perhaps Meg was also doing something that would incriminate her. That's the context. That's what I get from it. That's my opinion. That's my read of it. For those of you who have been telling me that I'm biased and that there's only one angle to this story and that a man pulled a gun and shot 5 times at another woman and that the prosecutors haven't charged him with attempted murder, but I'm biased. If you believe the story that a man pulled a gun and shot 5 times at another woman, He hasn't been charged with attempted murder, and now you have another woman in the car saying, I plead the fifth. Oh my God. When we walked out of that courtroom just now, every single...
So guys, sorry about that delay, but you know, I'm working with this little system here. So basically, Kelsey Nicole, formerly Megan Thee Stallion's bestie, they did everything together, including guys, right? So as we talked about yesterday, or as you know, it was revealed yesterday, that whenever Kelsey would get a guy, Megan would get cool with the guy as well, or as a group as a whole, and she'd end up sleeping with the guy. It goes for Ben Simmons, maybe the baby Tory as well. And you know, definitely that's where obviously this whole incident stems from, is the revelation that she didn't know that Megan Thee Stallion was sleeping with Tory Lanez. So what's so powerful about the Fifth Amendment, and what immediately comes to mind, the first case that I'm thinking about is Black Panthers with Huey P. Newton, Dr. Huey P. Newton. I forgot what year it was, where he shot a cop, and the guy who was riding in the vehicle with him basically used the same tactic as well as other people, is to basically throw the guilt away from the accused, right? Which is basically what she's doing, which is leading to more people to think that she's being paid off, which under oath today, you know, we'll get to that. She said that she wasn't paid off, right? Which Meg said yesterday that he offered to pay both of them off, and Meg has been saying that Tory paid off Chelsea. Hence they're falling out, so on and so forth, and all these other things. But basically, they're playing checkers with this whole thing. You know, we can't act like... So the prosecution is obviously surprised, but I don't think that Tory in his defense are surprised about the fact that Kelsey basically just came up in there and just says, I plead the fifth, you know, in terms of everything. So basically invoking her right to basically not incriminate herself. So let's just jump right into the next clip here. Let's load it up, guys. See what we got.
Morning. Let me catch you up on the rest of Kelsey's testimony. They asked her, how are you feeling? She said, I don't want to be here. They asked her, what's triggering you? She said, quote, lies from Megan. She was asked, what lies? That I betrayed her, that I am a bad friend, that I took hush money. Was asked, how do you feel about the allegation that you shot Megan? She said, that's ridiculous. She was asked, how did you meet Tory Lanez? Me and Meg both met him at the same time at a Rock Nation brunch. She continued that after they met, Meg wanted to hook Tory up with Kelsey, that did happen, that Kelsey and Tory were engaged in an intimate relationship, that Kelsey got COVID, went back to Texas, and during the time she was back in Texas, having left LA, Tory and Meg started getting it on. They talked about the night of the incident. They got to Kylie Jenner's house around 3 to 4 p.m. She was a great witness, by the way. She answered everything extremely knowledgeably, extremely truthfully. I believe every word she said. She never seemed like she was trying to hide something, except when she pled the fifth, of course. Now, she's clarified this was not a party. Those were just people hanging out. There was maybe 5 or 6 people before Tory got there. There was a lot of alcohol. She said at one point she did pass out. When she woke up, Tory was there. They were all in the pool. They were having fun. She confirmed a lot of the speculation. Tory was hooking up or trying to hook up, flirting with Kylie in the pool. Meg was very agitated, trying to leave with Tory. Tory did not want to leave. She contradicted Meg's testimony. Meg said, I don't remember ever leaving once and then coming back. Kelsey testified they all got in the car. They left without Tory. As they were going, Meg is rambling, being just weird, and then says, I forgot my slipper. Let's go back. They all go back to get her slipper. Then they grab Tory. Kelsey didn't go in at that point when they went back. But when they came out, Meg came out with Tory, and Meg said to Kelsey, bitch, Kylie told us it's time for us to go. Tory drops the bombshell that he had been hooking up with Meg. Kelsey did not know this. The first time she learned this is in that car. That's when the argument ensues. That's when just lots of arguing is going back and forth. The prosecutor really tried to pin it down and make it look like the argument was only between Tory and Meg, and Kelsey was adamant that nah, everybody was arguing with each other. It was a mess. She confirmed that Meg was dissing Tory's career, his skills as an artist. This stuff all crescendoed. The prosecutors asked her about, was there ever a threat made by Tory to shoot? She said yes. Prosecutor asked her, what's the context? She said, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. You can only invoke your fifth if the testimony that you are compelled to give will incriminate you, meaning that the context around the threat, if Meg will not tell us, if Kelsey tells us, it would incriminate her. All right, you heard the bombshell from this morning. Let me catch you up on the rest of Kelsey's testimony. They asked her, how are you feeling? She said, I don't want to be here. They asked her, what's triggering you? She said, quote, lie.
So guys, obviously Kelsey has her attorney advising her on these things. You know, before you take the stand, anytime your attorney is coaching you through potential questions or what you may be asked, so on and so forth. And in this case, she's already rehearsed on this, and at this point, she'll say this in hints, and I'll use hints why he says that this attorney Mo right here, lawyer Mo, attorney Mo, Gangot, he says that there was a lot of pauses with her responding. You know what I mean? Obviously, her saying, well, at this point, I'm invoking my right. I'm not saying this. Were there threats made? Yes. Were there threats towards you, or who were the threats made towards? I invoke my Fifth Amendment right. You know what I'm saying? On the grounds that it may incriminate me, blah, blah, blah. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating everybody. You know, you're not going to answer this. You'll answer some questions, but you're not going to do this. So it's basically, it's a strategy. Don't think that attorneys don't talk to each other. Right. Don't think that the prosecutor doesn't talk to the defense. Don't think that the attorneys don't talk to the judge. They all talk to each other. So it's not like it's just the goal is who's going to convince the jury at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So she's like, I do this, I do that. Everything is basically to not say. She could have easily went in there. Just imagine if Kelsey just went in there and said, yeah, I saw Tory shoot Meg. It's pretty much case closed. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't do that. Nobody would have questioned anything, and his defense probably would have tried some maneuvers and things like that. But that's all she really had to do was go in there and say that I saw Tory shoot Meg, and he would have been cooked. I saw this guy get out and bust, let off 5 times, and that was that. It's a lot of fruit booties giving their opinion on the verdict. That part. Okay. If you want to expound, I wonder if he's calling me a fruit booty. I wonder. Please expound. If you're calling me a fruit booty, please make it clear. But anyway, we'll go ahead and play this next one, babe. Matter of fact, hit the like button, guys. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Let's get into it.
Be here. They asked her, and it gets crazier. We are on a 15-minute break. Got to get back into the courtroom very quickly. I sat at 12 o'clock directly in Kelsey's line of vision. I watched her testify. I watched her deny that Tory threatened to shoot her. I watched her confess that she lied to the police when she said that. The reason why she was lying to the police, the investigators, is because she wanted to protect herself. OMG. The rest of the testimony that we just saw in the after lunch session was a prosecutor holding on for dear life to a recording between her, a police investigator, and another LA County prosecutor, and Kelsey, and just replaying that recording and saying, Kelsey, didn't you say this? And Kelsey saying, I did. Kelsey, is that true? And Kelsey saying, no, I lied. Did the LA County prosecutors give Kelsey immunity? I think so. They did, didn't they? That's what I reported this morning. That's what I saw in this courtroom. Does Kelsey sound like a believable witness? No. Is Tory Lanez accusing her of being the shooter? Yes. I'll tell you something. That jury, most of them, it looked like they had their mind made up. I don't know which way, but they saw that person say that I lied about all that to protect myself. They're going to hear that there was gunshot residue on her. And it gets crazier. We are on a 15-minute break. Got to get back into the courtroom very quickly. I sat at 12 o'clock directly in Kelsey's line of vision.
So bottom line, they're just trying to get Buddy. They're just trying to get Tory, even if that means granting her immunity. And what I heard Mo was talking about was when Kelsey's attorney came back, right? They were like, well, that immunity isn't enough. We just want basically immunity that she can't be charged for anything that stems from this case, has to do with this case at all, which I think is called transactional immunity, if I'm not mistaken. And they said that they're not willing to do that, but in the same vein, they said that, on record in court, that they will not charge her for anything that she said. So she can pretty much pull a 6ix9ine like 6ix9ine did and say whatever the hell he wants and still not be, not be charged for it, have that type of immunity, for lack of a better term. So, she still kept it funky, but still at the end of the day, she still has to testify tomorrow in this cross examination tomorrow, even with today being, full day of her, being on the witness stand, you know what I mean? So let's see what else we got here.
We are done. Kelsey is not done. She will be back tomorrow for another day of testimony. In fact, the opening direct examination by the prosecution of Kelsey started in the morning. It's still not finished. It's going to continue to tomorrow, and then we'll get cross-examination. Let me catch you up on what happened. Kelsey testified that everything that she had told prosecutors and investigators before, suggesting that Tory had shot at Meg, was a lie. That she did it, why? To protect herself. Why was she protecting herself? She didn't want to incriminate herself. And then there was this back and forth exchange that just kept going on. They were saying the same thing to each other. I don't know why the judge allowed it. The prosecutor's like, why? She's like, to protect myself. Why? To protect yourself from what? And she just kept saying, to protect myself. Finally, they moved on. The prosecutor's story basically comes down to this. They're introducing evidence that Kelsey seems to deny, but then doesn't seem to deny, as far as Tory making offers to say, hey, I'll give you this money when they're in the car and the police are coming up behind them and there's a helicopter overhead. Tory's like, yeah, I'll give you $1 million. Don't say anything. And she's like, I didn't take that. I didn't know what he was talking about. And then there's another meeting that happens later on between Tory and her. And she says, I didn't take any money. But she, at the same time, doesn't deny that offers were made. The other part that prosecutors are using and hanging their hat on are messages after the shooting where Kelsey is communicating with other people, including a key text message where Kelsey says, Tory shot Meg. That was sent to Meg's security guard. For the cross-examination, what I'm looking and expecting for the defense to do is basically pin Kelsey as the shooter. They're going to start with the gunshot residue. They're going to say she's got gunshot residue on her. And then they're going to start pointing out to all, and there are so many, I don't even think you can cover them all, of the inconsistencies in the stories between Meg and Kelsey. One of the biggest inconsistencies that I can't make any sense of is Meg says that she was out of the car alone. Kelsey says, no, we were both out of the car. She said that today in court. We were both out of the car when the shots happened. Kelsey vehemently denied that she saw any type of shooting, and she kind of kept saying that there were just gunshots that went off. She did not admit how. I think a juror is going to go one of two ways. A juror is going to look at this and say she's been paid off, she's lying for Tory, Tory's a criminal mastermind, guilty. I think a juror might look at it and say she's trying to protect herself from incriminating herself about being involved in this shooting. And so she's lying, and maybe she's the shooter, and that's enough for me to say reasonable doubt the prosecution hasn't met their burden. We shall see. This case is not ending anytime soon. Stay tuned. We are done. Kelsey is not done. She will be back tomorrow for another day of testimony. In fact, the opening direct examination by the prosecution of Kelsey started in the morning. It's still not finished. It's going to continue to tomorrow, and then we'll get cross-examination. Let me catch you up on what.
I mean, we could say it's cut and dry, but I mean, reasonable doubt seems to have made its way, officially into this case with her saying this, even though it's known, unless that's just their ploy all along, it's known that the defense is trying to pin the shooting on Kelsey at the end of the day, and that she was the one. Now, my thing is, where's the bodyguard? To my understanding, they're still trying to look, which I don't see what that the driver, the bodyguard, I still don't see, how he just disappeared. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's the third person in this equation outside of Tory taking the stand, which we're hoping more than likely Tory does take the stand to give his perspective, which I don't see why he wouldn't, to give his perspective on what actually happened that night, because he hasn't been able to do that yet, even though he's been wanting to. But because of the judge basically telling him that he couldn't all this time, hopefully we get the chance to finally hear what actually happened. You know what I mean? So, but bottom line, with all this, that's one of those words or phrases when you plead the fifth that basically I wouldn't say is always equal to reasonable doubt in something, but I mean, in this case, I mean, I mean, this is, how could you bring that in front of 12, or as he said, he didn't know if it was 14, but in front of 12 jurors, and basically say so many inconsistencies, but you want this man to do 26 years behind bars when you have a woman that has immunity that could have shot this girl, even though nobody is charging anyone with attempted murder. Because if that's the case, as they said, he's leaning over the top of a truck, fires 6 shots in her direction, hasn't been charged with attempted murder, just aggravated assault with a semi-automatic weapon, right? Not only that, he gets out the truck, puts the beaters on Kelsey, grabs her by the hair, pulls her to the ground, her bra strap pops, or whatever, bathing suit, bikini top pops, and jewelry pops, and she has blood on her. And this guy didn't get charged with any of these things. And here she is, pleading the fifth in the whole situation about any of these things that happened, and she didn't see nothing, and I don't know anything about that. I didn't, very interesting, man. Who knows how long this trial's gonna go on? I don't think that there's any more. Are there any more clips? Nah, I don't think this is a clip. Oh, wait up. Oh, this is the live stream right here, where he basically kind of expounds on some things. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna play that. There was a clip where there's another attorney talking about things that were going on. I guess from his perspective, he's not as sharp as Mo is when it comes to talking. He's focused on people talking to him and other stuff like that. This brother right here. So we'll play that. Okay, there we go.
Getting that out from Kelsey Harris. During another line of questioning, the prosecutor asked her, thank you, why were you afraid? She testifies that Tory Lanez,
man, spit that shit out,
threatened to shoot him.
Dude took 30
Kelsey
years to spit that out.
just testified that Megan was lying on her. This is direct examination. This is the prosecution very early on getting that out from Kelsey Harris. During another line of questioning, the prosecutor asked her, thank you, why were you afraid? She testifies that Tory Lanez threatened to shoot her. Kelsey testified.
Man, that shit just made my head hurt watching that dude, man. That shit took forever, and he worrying about people speaking to him. Anyway, that's it for the day, man. You know, it's like I wish they would let cameras into the courtroom so that we all could see this live and what's going on, since they're letting all the media's personnel in anyway. Why not let the cameras in? You know, make some money for the network as well. Anyway, guys, I'm done talking, man. Hope you guys have a good night. Make sure you guys, I just dropped a new skit today. Make sure you guys check it out if you haven't. And, you know, much blessings and abundance, man. We'll see y'all here tomorrow evening as well. Probably at the usual spot, man. But y'all know what it is. So I will see you guys later, man. I'm out of here. Peace.